Okay. Let's start. Today is 25th. We're going to talk about and leadership is a very interesting topic because we are talking about some information that is concerned to governments, concerned to education systems and religious non-profit organizations, and it's good. It's good to have this type of conversation. No? So today we're going to talk about this book, Becoming a Leader, Becoming a Person. But before talking about leadership, leaders and influence, let's talk about first leadership. What is your understanding? What's your opinion? What's your concerning about a leadership? As you know, a leader, a leader, it's part of a process where you develop a consistent and a very uh, disciplined work. And when you talk about leadership, in a sense, it's very interesting because what is a leader? What is a leadership we're talking about? If you're looking for some governments around the world, if you look for some non-profit organization also around the world, we always have the understanding that a leader or leadership is a system of organization, something like that, that it works towards something. And as we know, leadership, it's very difficult to define in the sense of looking always for the word a leader. A leader, leadership, and we sometimes uh, mix the information or don't know more or less how to express ourselves. And the most important is to know that leader is a person and leadership it's something else. Both are connected. As you know, they are connected, the word leader and leadership, but it's a little bit different. There are so many definitions about leadership. If you're looking on the history, Jesus and the 12 apostles is a very good example of Christian leadership. We have a leader, we have work that was done for 3 years on Jesus' ministries, and many people define to raise a leader or to train a leader, you need period of time. Jesus took about 3 years on his ministry when he called Matthews and John, Peter and Mark, Luke, all the 12 apostles. Okay, and if you look at the history, also have great leaders like Napoleon Bonaparte. We have Caesar. Recently, last century, we have Adolf Hitler. We we know was a bad example of leadership, but he was a leader of a group of people that follow him on some decision, on some kind of uh, goal or target to conquer something. And if you look in the sense of leadership, we can compare the word leadership with influence. It's the measure of your leadership. It's according to your influence. If you look at the teacher in the classroom, he is a leader, influence students. If you look at the government, we have some community leaders, we have some um, politicians that are leading some communities or some political part. If you look in soccer, sports, people, you see some people are very good influencers, buy a brand to buy some possession like a house, a car, because the person like to imitate or like to follow the, the leader, person that is influenced. And look at top models, looking at digital influencers, very common today. There are some people that working with fashions, exercise, food, supplements. They looking for some influencers to help with some diet, fashion style, and etc. etc. And as you can compare, a leader and it's connected, it's directly connected with the influence, and that's it. Leadership, it's influencing. If you are influence three or more people on your group of social group, you are already a leader. Of course, there's very lower scale, but you are a leader. If you are influencing more than 10,000 people, your level of leadership is much higher. And some people influence millions of people. So it's according to the numbers of people that you are influencing is the same amount of people that is define your leadership. But when we talk seriously about leadership, it's not a something superficial. Like I'm not saying that digital influencers not they are not leaders, but they have some influence. And according to this topic, according to what they are leading people, we say that they are leaders. But when you talk about business leadership, uh, business leadership and social network leadership is completely different because you don't need the same number of effort and investment on your leadership skills. Because we need, surely, we need some skills to become a good leader, to become a leader. Not just a camera and a build and a pretty face is gonna give you the power to be a leader. Influence on the internet is not the same of influencing in the company, in the office, school, the government, and no profit organization. It's not the same because there are more timing, there are more experience to be taken to become a leader, not in the digital area. Because the digital area, you have a camera and you have some concepts that you discuss, and then you can become a digital influencer. It's not the same become a leader on the organization, a leader on your community, a leader on your family, whatever it's the target that you are looking for. But it's leadership, it's influence, and if you can say that you can influence people for the good and also can influence people for the bad. As to give an example in the past, I just spoke about Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler was an example of a leadership, the bad. But some people believe at the time, some people believe that he was leading for a good cause. He was leading to conquer the world and have a pure race. And some people believe that. Some people was forced, but some people supporting him. And this type of influence that you're going to talk and discuss during this week, because you can be a good leader and you can be a bad leader according to some points that you're going to discuss during this week. But tell me, what's your opinion about a good leader? How can you define a good leader? How can you measure the how can you measure the quantity of the size of a leader's influence? What are the qualities of a leader, and what are the strongest points in a leader, and also what can make a bad leader? How can you? What are the vital signs for a bad leader? Because we have some good leaders, but believe it or not, we have some bad leaders too. Some some leaders that need to be more prepared, or some leaders that was designated to be a leader with no preparation, know how on the specific business or organization, and sometimes that is uh, not a problem, but that is something that brings some some bad results, or some kind of conflicts in the organization, the business, so forth. I'm going to give some examples for you to for good leaders, great leaders, bad leaders, not according to the person, but according to the actions and the results on their leadership. Okay, as we know, to be a good leader, you must be someone prepared. Some people say, "But I came born a leader." A leader is you born a natural leader, or you become a leader. We will discuss this as well. But some people believe that a babe born leader look and say, oh, this is going to be a president. Oh, this baby is going to be a governor. Oh, no, no, this baby is going to go. No, we're going to discuss this as well. So, how can we define a leader, and how leaders can be influence on people's life? There is a school for leaders. There are many options to decide which area I'll be a good leader and so forth. As I say, we're going to discuss some books uh, from from now on, and we're gonna be looking some words like integrity, mm, nature, nurturing others, faith in people, listen people, understand people, enlarge people, navigate for other people, concepts of people, empowers people, reproduce others' influences. So it's going to be some words that you're going to be discussing along this week. The most important today is to understand that leadership it's influence. If you want to be a good leader, a great leader, if you want to be a leader, you need to define what is leadership. What is the word leadership means? How can I be a good influencer? How can I influence people to follow me, or to lead people to a specific goal, target, aim? It's important to define this even before you can call yourself a leader. Because a leader is it's connected with the word a leadership. You cannot be a leader just because you grow up in the morning and say, okay, I'm a leader. No, it's a relation to the word leadership, influence. Leadership is it's influence. It influence others, influence organization. Influencer, it's a very steps stepstone for that. It's a landmark. It's uh, it's the beginning of everything to understand what is a leadership. A leadership is connected. No, the leader is connected to the word leadership. That's why we need to go back and realize that be a good leader, I have to be a good influencer to be a rated leader, because we have a leader one, two, three, four, different levels of leaders. And it's not just according to the numbers of people that you influence. There are some points that you're going to be discussed this week to make you realize how important to pay attention to some specific points that we have to learn to be a good leader. It's like a question: what is the only thing that I need to know to be a good leader? And the question always, the answer is always the same. To be a good leader, the only thing that you need to know is that there is no only one thing that you need to know. There are many things that you need to know to become a good leader. And that's how it works. And that's how we're gonna improving our life. And if you're not looking for want to be a leadership just because you're not in business, you're not in an organization, don't want to be a leader, doesn't matter. Learn to be a good family leader, learn to be a good community leader on the church, on your mosque, on your synagogue, on your temple, but learn to be a good person, and the influence comes after. So the leadership, it's uh, it's something amazing because if you are leading, it's something very, 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 very important. If you are not leading, you are following someone. And even to be a good follower, it's also takes some effort, takes some responsibility and discipline to be a good follower as well. And I want to start this week probably telling you this: to be a good leader, be a good leader, you need to be a good follower. You cannot start your leadership career, your leadership goals without being a good follower. Being a good follower means you become, you are not working on, you are starting your leadership career. There's no leaders around the world will never be a follower. Good followers can become good leaders. Bad followers will never become good leaders. Because the leaders are followers first. We cannot change, we cannot mix, we cannot disassociate it. These 2 point leaders and followers. If you're a good follower, sure, you will become a good leader. But if you're a bad follower, you can become a leader. But we won't discuss about what kind of leadership that you are being developed in this process. So it's important to first be a good follower. Good followers surely become good leaders. I'm not saying all the followers will become leaders, but to become a good leader, you have to become first a good follower. Because when you're following people correctly, you are setting the example as well. I'm going to give an example on the army. You have a private, and then you have a corporal, a sergeant, and so forth, until you come to the major general, whatever the position of the army. But you start as a private soldier, corporal, and so forth, sergeant. And that is a scale of leadership. First, you become someone that do the work, and then you start studying and growing until you are able to lead a certain number of people. And bigger organizations as the same. You start in the specific position as you growing on the company. You become after a few years, you become a supervisor, you become a manager or a coordinator, whatever the name of the position, become director. And that's how it works. But to become a leader first, you need to be a good follower. And today's talk is going to be ending now. Uh, Surely we're going to talk about many things this week. And for today, we're just going to stop and say that leadership is an influence. If you want to be a good leader, you need to be a good follower. And that's how we're going to take from until this Friday. We're going to have this talk Monday, Tuesday until Friday. And each day we're going to discuss some points on the leadership. And if you like to share this information with the other people, feel free to do that. And remember, every every day, 8 o'clock, we are here discussing some leadership points for your career, for your business, for your any area of your life. Okay, so we we are ending now, and I will expect you on the tomorrow same time, same place. Have a good week, and God bless. Bye bye.